What would a Chicago Bulls legend look like in today's game? So we started off with Dennis Rodman. Then we went to Ron Harper. Then we hit Tony Kukoc. The other day we did Horace Grant. Today we're doing the Mac Daddy of them all. We're doing Scottie Pippen. He has been the most requested person in the comments by a mile, and for good reason. Not only is he one of the greatest Chicago Bulls of all time, he was so far ahead of his time in the 90s. He was one of the first point forwards we ever saw. I would say he's kind of the guy that every modern three, every modern wing kind of base their game off of. He's one of the first 3-and-D guys in the NBA. So Scottie Pippen, he would fit seamlessly into today's game. You know, the way that he handled the ball, his passing, his athleticism, obviously his defense. If he's not the greatest perimeter defender of all time, he is third at worst. He's a top 3 perimeter defender in NBA history with his length, the way he would shut guys down. Go watch the 1991 NBA Finals. The way he shut down Magic Johnson, it's insane. 91 is typically thought of as Magic versus MJ, but I'm telling you guys, it was Scottie Pippen who put the clamps on Magic Johnson, who slowed that Showtime offense down. And 91, you know, Magic was a little older, but that team was Showtime as ever. That team used to run up and down the court. They used to run guys out of the gym. They had Vlade Divac, young Vlade Divac, running the break. They were a hell of a team, and Scottie Pippen put the clamps on Magic Johnson. Big reason the Chicago Bulls won that series. So it's kind of hard with Scottie Pippen to find a modern comparison to him. A lot of people are going to say Kawhi Leonard, but to me, Kawhi Leonard doesn't have the athleticism that Scottie had. Kawhi Leonard doesn't have the passing that Scottie had. He doesn't have the ball handling that Scottie had. You know, even young San Antonio Spurs Kawhi Leonard was not the athlete that peak Scottie Pippen was. So that's kind of a hard comparison to me. A modern comparison defensively, you know, Jonathan Isaac might be the best defender in the NBA right now. A lot of people don't know it because he plays on the Magic and his knees are so bad that he only plays like 20 minutes a game on the Magic. But when you watch the Magic, the way that he comes in for those 20 minutes and just wreaks havoc on the other team with his defense, very Scottie Pippen-like. Obviously, nowhere near the player Scottie Pippen was on the offensive end. Just not even close to debatable. So Jonathan Isaac on defense might be the modern Scottie Pippen, but he has no offensive game, so that's not a good comparison. Andre Iguodala is a really good Scottie Pippen comparison, but Scottie Pippen was Andre Iguodala on steroids. Like, Andre Iguodala could not hang with Scottie Pippen on any level. You know, Andre Iguodala was a nice player. Scottie Pippen was a true superstar. Andre Iguodala could do a little bit of everything on the court. Scottie Pippen could do everything Andre Iguodala did, but better. They have similar length. Iguodala might be a better athlete than Scottie at his peak. That young Philadelphia 76ers Andre Iguodala was a freak athlete, a 40-inch vertical, could run out the gym, but it's hard to say who the better athlete was. I'm just saying that's probably the closest comparison that we've seen in the modern day to Scottie Pippen would be a Andre Iguodala on steroids. As far as how Scottie Pippen's game would translate, a lot of people are going to tell you that Scottie Pippen would need to improve his three-point shot. They don't realize that Scottie's last 3 years in Chicago, he was actually a good marksman from three. 96 to 97, 37% from three on 5 attempts. 95-96, 37% on 5 attempts a game. 94 to 95, he shot 36% on 4 attempts a game. So towards the end, Scottie Pippen, he was shooting more threes and he was hitting them at a pretty good rate. If you're shooting 5 a game and you're giving me 37%, there's a lot to like there. You know, if Nikola Vucevic could shoot 37% from 3, we'd all be much happier as Bulls fans. So I look at Scottie's game, and not only was it ahead of its time for the 90s, but it would fit in perfectly today. The way that he handles the ball, the way that he D's up. I think he could guard 1 through 4 in today's game. He might even be able to guard a lot of 5s too. His frame was a little lanky, but he was strong. Don't get it twisted. Scottie Pippen was fucking strong. He was one of the first guys in the NBA to really hit that weight room. Look at early Scottie, like the first three-peat Scottie. Look at that Scottie. Then look at the last three-peat Scottie. Same size, same weight, way more muscle on that frame in the last three-peat. So he was strong. I think he could hold his own against most of the 5s in today's game. Obviously, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, those guys he probably couldn't guard in the post, but the rest of the guys, like, imagine Scottie Pippen on Karl Anthony Towns. He would shut Karl Anthony Towns down. He would do that against a lot of the guys. He would shut Julius Randle down. You know, you throw any of the non-Jokic, non-Giannis bigs at me, I bet he'd shut them down. So Scottie, man, he's a fun guy to try to put in today's game because he would fit perfectly in today's game. He was so far ahead of his time in the 90s. It's just hard to find a modern comparison for him because they don't make players like this anymore, guys who had his blend of everything. So let me know in the comments who you guys want to see next. Shout out Scottie Pippen.